I'll lastly say, these are the cases we lose sleep over. These are the cases the county executive, the chief of police, myself, and every cop up here lose sleep over. Not just while we're working, but even after we retire. We'll never forget these cases, because children are not supposed to die. Prince George's County Police Department Homicide Unit arrested 2 suspects in connection with the murder of this toddler, baby Jeremy. The suspects are 33-year-old Israel Fuentes and 28-year-old Johnny Tercios, both of Lewisdale. They are charged in connection with that murder, charged with first and second degree murder, correct? The mother was also shot, and she will survive physically. It appears that last night, at least 4 individuals were in a carjacked gold SUV, got out and began shooting at another group of individuals who we have not had an opportunity to contact yet. Those individuals may have fired back, unconfirmed at this time. Later into the night, detectives were able to locate that carjacked vehicle, unoccupied, but we did find a weapon that will likely fit the ballistics of the bullets that killed baby Jeremy. Then through the hard work of these detectives, specialized units, patrol, everybody we got, they were able to arrest Tercios late last night and bring him into custody. They continued to work, continued to scour the neighborhood and talk to our community members who continued to help, and developed a second suspect in Fuentes and took him into custody this morning. Both those individuals will be going to county jail. But again, there's at least 2 more suspects in that vehicle, and there's some other individuals, whoever they were firing at, that we still need to talk to. So we're not done yet, and we won't get any rest until we are. I'm glad we were able to bring a level of closure to the family, but we still have work to do. Any questions for me?
The other 2 suspects, we're talking about multiple weapons used in the shootout, were they also firing weapons, were they just in the vehicle?
That I don't know yet, but that'll be part of the investigation. They could help us out if they go ahead and turn themselves in and straighten it out for us.
Chief, was it gang related?
I'm not certain at this point. That's one of the questions I asked as well, so if we'll have to find out. I know there has been gang activity in the past there, but over the last 90 days, I have no shootings, no homicides in that area.
Can you just walk us through how important the community's cooperation was in finding these 2 suspects?
Like I started with, it's a 50-50 partnership. We couldn't have done it without them. And we can never really solve these without the community's help. We've got calls, we've got texts, we've had every level of cooperation that we could hope for. Not all, because we don't have the rest of those suspects, but they did a tremendous job. And some of them, I'm sure, in fear. And so it's incumbent upon us to continue to protect our community who did help us out.
Chief, it's not always the case with that community coming forward. Do you think it's the nature of this crime that got everybody involved this time around?
Absolutely. I think anytime a child dies, it angers even the community and even other potential bad guys, so to speak. Even they don't like to see young people and old people pass away.
Have there been any similar incidents to this in the past? I know residents have said they have been fearful of gang activity, drug use, how police responded, and did security cameras capture any of this that happened last night?
I won't talk about specific evidence at this point. I'm sure there will be further updates, but I do know that there have been no shootings or homicides in Langley Park area in the last 90 days.
Do these suspects have any criminal record with you guys at all?
They do have some criminal records.
You mentioned the carjacking involved in this as well. Do you have more information about when, where that happened?
I actually forgot to look at the time of that carjacking. I know it was the morning before, but I don't remember exactly where or what time. But it was. But this just ties all this together. It brings it full circle. We keep talking about these aren't just carjackings. There are so many victims in this case. Let's think about it. First of all, you had some individual who was carjacked the day before, and they're still riding around in this carjacked vehicle. And who knows what other crimes they committed while driving that carjacked vehicle. And then they get into a shooting and a 2-year-old dies while they're in a carjacked vehicle. So when we keep talking about these carjacked vehicles and stolen vehicles, it's not just about that vehicle and that victims losing their property, because that's what the community typically sees this as. This is about the other things that that change that chain reaction, those ripple effects that occur from these crimes of these stolen cars and these carjacked vehicles. And that's why it's incumbent upon us to make sure we take it seriously.
How heartbreaking is this 2-year-old getting caught up in, I don't want to call it a beef, but some type of situation between these two groups?
I think it's horrible. Again, like I said last night, that 2-year-old didn't do anything. That 2-year-old isn't wearing colors or joining a gang yet. I mean, and again, I think he's going to be a future police officer, so who knows?
You know what the shooting was all about? Do you have any idea?
I wish I did, but until we can talk to the other people that were involved, even on the other side, that were being shot at, until we can talk to them, we need them to come forward as well. We might be able to bring some clarity to this.
So you don't know specifically the circumstances where this shooting happened, like what was really the mother with the child, when these people try to kill this.
My understanding that when she heard the first set of gunshots, she tried to run away with her baby, and the baby got shot, and she got shot as well.
And just for clarity, does this appear to be a shootout between two groups, or?
It appears so at this point, yes, sir. And
Any idea how many shots were fired at those?
I don't have that with me right now, but it does appear to be a shootout between two groups for unknown reason, and the baby caught in the crossfire. But a baby is still dead, and they still need to be held accountable. Yes, sir.
4 people in that first group. Do you know how many people allegedly returned fire?
Honestly, do not recall. I just know there's a second group. So.
And then
Yes,
just
sir.
one way for you mentioned cases like this state. So for the folks watching, what would you?
Again, when you think about the chain of victims, from the original carjacking to the shooting victims, to the officer sitting there giving CPR to a 2-year-old with blood on his hands, to what other crimes they committed in between, to the life of this young mother without her child for the rest of her life, she won't get sleep every night either. And this happens when we think these are just property crimes, when we think people are just doing these things because they're hungry or whatever that may be. It creates trauma at a lot of levels for a lot of people. We've got to put the guns down. There are better ways to solve conflict, and there are resources out there for people who need jobs or whatever that may be, but this has got to stop in all neighborhoods.
Is that blood on the suspect's face? Is anybody else injured in all this or shot? Do you believe?
I don't know if that's blood or not. I don't. Does anybody? I don't know.
And there also some neighbors say there's an issue, the group that was involved sells fentanyl in that neighborhood, drugs or any kind of deal involved in this at all.
Well, I mean, I'm glad you guys brought that up. The community was extremely helpful in this case. But I don't have all those calls leading up to this case on the violence or shootings or anything of that sort. So if these things are going on, talk to us. Talk to us. Let us do our proper investigations. Help us put the people who are plaguing that community and creating a nuisance in jail.
Can you say more about their criminal history?
I don't have their criminal history in front of me. I just know it was fairly long.
Just to be clear, do we think they fired shots that killed?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. We believe they fired the shots.
They fire first.
That I do not know, honestly. Thank you all. Have a good weekend.
Anybody who would like to take a few minutes, we have a person to give the same basic information in Spanish. So we have a huge Spanish audience that has a lot of questions, and so we have someone here that can answer those questions, because we want to reach the people in the areas that are affected, and I know that Juan Damien is here, and I'm going to invite him up to the podium. Juan Damien? you're all ready, and we'll start. You good?
Yeah, you can,
Right over here.
Buenas tardes, soy el Corporal Juan Damián de la Policía del Condado de Prince George. Estamos aquí para pedir ayuda de la comunidad para que nos ayude a hacer aprehensión con 2 personas que estamos buscando relacionado con el homicidio que tuvimos con un niño pequeño ayer por la tarde en el área de Langley Park. Arrestamos 2 personas, tenemos 2 personas que fueron arrestadas, pero estamos pidiendo ayuda a la comunidad por si alguien sabe algo, que sepa algo, que haya escuchado algo, que sepa cualquier cosa que nos pueda ayudar. Por favor, no dejen saber. Pueden hacerlo anónimamente. Se ofrece una recompensa de hasta $25,000 por información que nos ayude con la aprehensión de la persona. Cualquier persona que tenga cualquier información que nos ayude, por favor, déjenos saber. Lo repetimos otra vez. No nos incumbe el estatus migratorio de la persona, si hablan inglés o no. Pueden hacerlo anónimamente y pueden hacerlo en español. Sí. Lo que tenemos ahora que es un caso obviamente que sigue bajo investigación. Hubo un tiroteo por el área de Langley Park, por la University Boulevard, la 14, la Kanawha. Solamente sabemos que hubo un tiroteo entre posiblemente 2 personas, 2 grupos de personas. En el tiroteo una mujer salió herida y su hijo de la mujer. El niño desafortunadamente falleció, es un niño de 2 años que es un caso terrible, no queremos que pase eso, obviamente no queremos ninguna persona que muera, pero mínimo un niño empezaba su vida a 2 años de edad. Queremos pedir ayuda a la comunidad, cualquier información que tenga que nos pueda ayudar para hacer el caso, por favor vengan, nos dejen saber. Fue comunicación, con la comunicación con la comunidad. La comunidad vino con nosotros, le agradecemos mucho a la gente que nos ha ayudado y que sigue ayudando, y estamos aquí de la manera que les comprobamos que estamos para ayudar a la comunidad. Tuve mucha información con gente del área que vino, nos dejó saber información, entre información que tuvimos con la gente y cosas que pudimos averiguar. Nuestros detectives de homicidios no han ido a la casa todavía, han estado trabajando en el caso desde anoche y gracias a eso pudimos llegar a lo que llegamos ahora. Tenemos 2 personas bajo arresto, como decimos. Hay otras 2 personas más que estamos buscando por ahora. Información que tengan, por favor, no me canso de decirle, por favor, déjenos saber. Gracias.
I'm just asking a question for conversation. So, first, just your message for the community in the area who may be afraid and scared after.
Por favor, déjenos saber. No nos importa su estatus migratorio, es muy importante, no nos importa el estatus migratorio de la persona. Si la persona no tiene papeles, no habla inglés, no importa, por favor, vengan, déjenos saber. Cuando hacemos una investigación, un caso como este, no nos importa si la persona tiene papeles o no tiene papeles, si hablan inglés o no hablan inglés. Nosotros el trabajo en la policía no tenemos que ver con inmigración. Si la persona tiene papeles o no tiene, no nos incumbe a nosotros. O si habla inglés o no habla inglés, no nos incumbe a nosotros. Lo que estamos aquí para defender a la comunidad, ayudar a la gente, independientemente de su estatus migratorio que tenga la persona. No tenemos el trabajo en investigación todavía, no tenemos información para eso. No tenemos ese tipo de información todavía, trabajo investigación. Gracias. ¿Alguien más tiene otra pregunta?
Anybody have any other questions? Good? Okay, thank you.
thank you, sir. I'm sorry, I think that the answer to the question is still, yeah, okay. Did you see, we talked a few weeks ago. Yeah, but I recognize this.